So many of the products around us, they're all results of establishments and companies that have exhibited forms of longevity. Now, the longevity in any startup or any type of venture is usually indicative of a very strong development plan and development process, as well as just foresight in general. So we at Restore, we hope to improve the longevity of our company as well as the longevity of the customers that we serve by having a very strong development plan and strategy. So that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. So this image up here, this is our Gantt chart, and it involves a few key processes such as securing U.S. partners, the manufacturing of the product, the migration to China, as well as the sales and of our product in general. So I'm going to step through the processes one by one. Green means processes in China, blue is the U.S. processes, and the graded line is there so because we find that our manufacturing is going to be very intermittent based on the potential need of our product. So first, we're going to start with the manufacturing of wound aid. After we've already built up our U.S. partners, including our contract manufacturing and our contract researching. The next phase will be the beginning of clinical trials. Now, while we're going through clinical trials 1 and 2, sort of midway through the second clinical trial phase, we plan to begin establishing relationships in China. This way, when we are ready to move into China, we already have existing relations. The move into China will occur when phase 3 starts, clinical trials. This is possible because many Chinese pharmaceutical companies are willing to accept U.S. technologies that made it through phase 2 clinical trials. And then once we've received the State Federal Drug Administration approval in China, we plan to begin our sales of our wound aid product within China. And using these resources generated, we plan to facilitate sales and growth in the U.S. And the start date of this Gantt chart is tomorrow. So now our development strategy. So within our development strategy, there are sort of 3 main areas that we plan to target. The 3 were our contract manufacturers, our contract researchers, and our strategic partners. The contract manufacturers, we're going to carefully select them so that they have experience within the wound care field, and they also practice GMP. Similarly, we want to ensure that our clinical trials outsourcing procedure goes very well. So we want to have CROs that are already within the wound care industry, and our strategic partners will help us. Our strategic partners will help us embrace. These are our key partners. Our risks. In any venture like this, there are going to be many risks, and we sort of foresaw 3 main areas for risk to happen. The first being the regulatory environment. We're new to China. We're still researching and still gathering information on how we can best be prepared to handle the Chinese government and their drug regulations. But to limit the regulatory risk involved, we plan on limiting the number of non-proprietary elements involved in the formulation of our process. The next risk involved would be our distribution. We're new to China again, so we're not really familiar with how the distribution process works in China. As I discussed last week, it's very fragmented and very different to the U.S., so we plan on partnering with local distribution channels to help us get through that process. And lastly, cash. Cash doesn't grow on trees like that image, and we're given the fact that we are splitting our company essentially, and we have ongoing clinical trials, it is very possible for just our cash flow to get burned out. So to counter that, we plan on using our sales generated in China to help facilitate our general company growth. We're confident that our development strategy will ensure a strong future for Restore. And with that, I'd like to open it up to any questions. Yeah.
Okay, 2 questions. First one was, what is the NDA application on your